It's the end of an era as the leader of the entire Texas Tech system announces his retirement. Plus, thousands ascend on the Texas Tech campus to get a taste of college life, and we'll bring you the latest news in the Red and Black Recap. This is Texas Tech Today Monthly. After 7 years at the helm of the Texas Tech University system, Chancellor Ken Hance announced his retirement. And since stepping into the role of Chancellor, Hance has made a big impact on the university he loves.
I plan to retire at the end of this year and stay on next year until we find a successor.
On December 1st, 2006, Ken Hance became the third chancellor of the Texas Tech University system.
When I came to Texas Tech, we had 2 universities in the system. Now we've got 4. So we've been in a growth pattern. When I came to the system, we had 30,000 students. We now have 44,000 students, 45% growth. That's tremendous in this day and time.
Hance said he came to his retirement decision after the Texas Tech system reached a major milestone.
Things that brought me to this point to retire, I told people I'm not going to retire until I raise $1 billion. We hit that in February, but the campaign wasn't over until August. When the campaign was over in August, I started looking at what I was going to do.
Well, I think the Chancellor's had a tremendously positive impact on Texas Tech University. I think he's done a great job the last 7 years.
What will he do after he steps down? Chancellor Hance says he'll continue working.
Well, I will stay connected with Texas Tech, and I'll work something out to do something with Texas Tech, and I may go back and practice a little law and may do some traveling and some things like that. And I want to be involved in selecting the new president for the Health Science Center in El Paso.
No matter what he does, Hance will always be a Red Raider.
I love Texas Tech, dream no little dreams, and God bless Texas Tech.
Every year at homecoming throngs, the prospective Red Raiders step foot on the Texas Tech campus to get a taste of college life during the weekend of Red and Black and University Day. This year, the annual event attracted nearly 3,700 high school students and their guests.
So we have this once a year. It's our annual open house. It's where we really open the doors of Texas Tech and invite prospective students and their family to come take a sneak peek inside. Today is University Day, which is really the full-blown experience of conferences and sessions where students can learn more about the university. So it's really just a chance for them to feel a part of the Red Raider family.
The thousands of prospective Red Raiders showed up early to the United Spirit Arena for a pep rally. Then it was off to visit with different campus entities and visit with fellow students.
They can take guided campus tours, they can check out housing, actually walk into a housing residence hall and see what those facilities are like if they're planning for next year. And then the academics are taking them on in-depth sessions and tours this afternoon.
The official student ambassadors for the university, I kind of get to help coordinate them and help them out with their jobs, walk around, get to know people, and just answer all the incoming students' questions.
To see all the potential Red Raiders that are here and getting to see how they light up, how much they love the college, and watching them get involved in different stuff and getting a feel for the college life.
After an information and Texas Tech Spirit-filled day, there's sure to be some new Red Raider recruits.
The people, to be honest, are really nice and open and friendly. I really love the campus, though. The campus is way bigger than I imagined.
I'm absolutely in love with everything about Tech.
One of the faces those prospective students met was Texas Tech President Dr. Dwayne Nellis. October was a busy month here at Tech, so we sat down with Dr. Nellis to talk about his thoughts about some of the big news on campus.
We hired our new Vice President of Research. So talk to me about the candidate we hired and how that whole process went.
Well, I think it went very well. We hired Dr. Rob Duncan. He's currently the Vice Chancellor for Research at the University of Missouri, which is an AAU school. And I think we're very fortunate to get him to come here, and we had an outstanding pool of applicants, and he clearly emerged as the #1 candidate. He brings with him, again, a wealth of experience, not only working at an AAU school, but also he had past affiliations with Sandia National Labs. He has a great network nationally and internationally in the research world. And so he truly is a great addition to my leadership team as we try to move the university forward to greater levels of excellence.
What was the process like? Just how did y'all narrow it down to the ones that came in and did their presentations?
Well, we had a search committee chaired by Dominic Casadante, and he's currently the interim dean of the graduate school. And the search committee screened through all the applicants. We had a search firm, Storbuck and Pimentel, that worked on the search. They had various criteria that they were evaluating to narrow it down to a group in which they did phone interviews with. And then from that, they narrowed it down to 4 candidates that we brought to campus for campus interviews, and from that, narrowed it down to our top candidate in Robert Duncan.
And when does he start?
He starts January 1st.
What did you think about your first university day?
Well, I think it's very festive, very exciting. Gives us an opportunity to really show off Texas Tech University and all the great qualities we have here, the friendliness of the people, the beauty of our campus, the great academic programs that we have, and you could see it in the excitement of the prospective students about their enthusiasm for Texas Tech, and the parents, of course, absorbing as much as they can about the institution, but it was just a very exciting time.
Okay, and what about your first visit to Raiderville?
Raiderville was maybe a little smaller than I expected it to be. I arrived there, I think it was around 8:30 in the morning, and I think a number of the students were still sleeping. We tried to incentivize them to come out with donuts and coffee, but it enticed a few, but not too many.
What does it mean for Texas Tech to be one of the leading in the nation to have so many faculty Fulbright scholarships?
Well, I think it's a tremendous recognition of the emergence of this university as a national, on the national level. To have 10 Fulbright scholars in 1 year, there are many universities that have maybe 1 or 2 at the most. And you know, to be tied with Ohio State and the University of Illinois for the #1 position in the nation for Fulbrights is truly a tremendous honor for Texas Tech.
And does that help in our quest to be Tier 1 research?
Certainly contributes to the national recognition of our faculty. It helps move us to be more AAU-like. Ohio State and University of Illinois are AAU-type schools, and so to be in that same company and in the top 10, there were other AAU schools. So clearly, to be in that group of universities certainly elevates our national and international visibility.
It's no coincidence that right now, during a major oil and gas boom, Texas Tech University's Department of Petroleum Engineering is one of the largest in the nation.
The luxury that we have here in the Bob L. Hurd Department of Petroleum Engineering is being right in the middle of the Permian Basin. To show students how a drilling rig works or a pumping unit works, all I have to do is drive 15-20 minutes from school, and then the laboratory is the field.
Texas Tech has been on the forefront of this major energy industry for decades by producing top-notch petroleum engineering graduates.
Tech is very well known in the industry as a good petroleum engineering school.
Companies have come to Tech for over 60 years now seeking that petroleum engineer that was ready to hit the ground running.
The quality of education these students receive is only going to improve with the new state-of-the-art $22 million petroleum engineering building.
We're not only going to have the hands-on equipment and laboratories to build upon the students' education, but we're also going to have things like 3D rooms where they actually can walk into the room and actually walk around like they're in the reservoir miles beneath the surface.
It'll be half of a museum and the other half of an educational department, so it'll be really exciting.
Bob L. Hurd Department of Petroleum Engineering, reaching new depths at Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible. It was a trip back in time for this year's homecoming theme, Tech Loves the 90s. Thousands gathered in Urbanovsky Park on the Friday of the Spirit-Filled Week for a pep rally and bonfire. The Spirit Squads, Mass Rider, and Raider Red were all on hand for the festivities. More than 100 universities worldwide participated when Texas Tech hosted the 14th annual Engage Scholarship Consortium. The conference is a way for member higher education institutions to showcase their Engage Scholarship projects.
The Engagement Scholarship Consortium intends to look at these university-community partnerships and provide faculty and communities the opportunity to publish and replicate their research with other members across the world.
This was the first time Texas Tech hosted the conference after joining the consortium 3 years ago. Also in October, University Libraries kicked off the 29th Annual Faculty Academic Contributions Exhibit, or FACE. The digital exhibit showcases the work of more than 80 system faculty members.
We try to show the collaboration across disciplines. That's where the theme Seeds of Knowledge comes in, because it's a planting of a seed with one person and watching the wisdom spread.
FACE honors the innovation, talents, and accomplishments of the faculty. And Texas Tech University was once again named a top military-friendly school by Military Advanced Education, or MAE, in its 2014 Guide to Military-Friendly College and Universities list. This is the 5th consecutive year that Texas Tech has made the list, which is compiled of more than 300 institutions across the United States. The schools were evaluated in 4 major areas: military culture, support services, financial services, and flexibility.
There is nothing more noble than serving our country. And Texas Tech University strives to honor those men and women who have served. The Military and Veterans Programs offers veterans the personal support and educational resources to thrive at Texas Tech. To help their transition, MVP established the Green Zone Training, a program designed to inform university faculty and staff about the needs of student veterans on campus. Through MVP's efforts, Texas Tech has been named a military-friendly campus by GI Jobs for 5 consecutive years. With more than 1,700 veteran students and their dependents, and 200 military faculty and staff, at Texas Tech University, from here, it's possible.
We've done a really good job over the last few years of kind of quietly building out, I would say, one of the premier research facilities in the country.
The Center for Communication Research in the College of Media and Communication offers state-of-the-art facilities to students and faculty.
It makes us pretty unique as we house all these different types of communication research technology under one roof.
These types of technology include labs for focus groups, dial testing, biometric testing, and eye tracking.
So all these different labs give us different ways to understand that reception process, how to create better messages. We also measure facial electromyography, which is a fancy word for saying we measure smile muscle activation and frown muscle activation. That we can gauge responses in here that don't necessarily reach that level of conscious awareness. In other words, we respond physiologically, biologically in ways we may not always be aware of.
Cummins says it's not just about teaching students about creating media messages. These research labs are used to teach them about how to create a message that will elicit a certain response from the audience.
It's also very common for undergrads to use this in some of their campaigns classes, to understand message design that's part of an advertising or public relations campaign, to understand assessment of the effectiveness of some of the messages they're creating.
All students within the college have access to these facilities.
Research is a very big part of the communications industry, the media industry. We've seen a lot of interest obviously from faculty and graduate students. We're seeing more and more interest from undergraduates who recognize the value of media research, recognize that this is something that can really benefit them once they leave Texas Tech.
Cummins says though the College of Media and Communications research labs are impressive and cutting edge, they are just part of the college's mission.
Primary focus has been and will always be supporting faculty and student research, advancing the university's research mission.
We want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Texas Tech Today Monthly. You can see all the latest stories at today.ttu.edu. Until next time, I'm Lacey Nobles.